Ahoy folks, and welcome back to Broadside Gaming with me, Zug. So we're carrying on with our updated builds for 2026, and today we're taking a look at the Veteran, one of the classes I've played the most in Darktide. And honestly, it's one of my favourite classes, really. So let's jump in and take a look at what we're using. Obviously, we're using the plasma gun because it's goddamn amazing, but we are also using the power falchion because it's just one of the weapons I hadn't really bothered playing with, and I started playing, but it was quite good. So there you go, that's what we're using. So our dump stat is mobility as usual because it's crap. Damage, finesse, power output, and heat management are going to be maxed out to 80. Perk-wise, we're probably going to go for Flak and Carapace. Flak being the most prevalent armor type in the game, and Carapace to help us deal with crushers. Blessings-wise, I have no idea, to be honest. Let's have a look at them. The absolute professional that I am, I've put in loads and loads and loads of research into this, and yeah, you know. Oh, I don't know. Sorry, I just don't. I haven't leveled it up yet. I've just been using what it has. Cranial grounding's quite good. Overload's good. Energy leakage. I mean, they're all pretty decent. I'd probably go with energy leakage and overload, or overload and cranial grounding, to be honest. They're quite useful and generally quite easy to proc and deal with. You don't need to feck around doing weird things to make it useful. There you go, that's the power falchion. And if you don't want to use that, you can use a weapon I've actually bothered playing with and used. You can use the assault chainsword, which is always good. Damage, finesse, penetration, lol, shredder. With shred, wrath, and flak and unarmored, because that is going to be what you're using to kill hordes of poxwalkers. I mean, I'm just going to cycle through them. If you want to look at different weapons and pause the video, absolutely go for it. Lots of different options. But the main attraction to this class, which is the plasma gun. So the modifiers are as such: damage, charge rate, stopping power, and thermal resistance. And ammo is our dump. Perk-wise, we've gone for Flak and Unyielding. Flak, again, the most prevalent armor type in the game, helps us get rid of gunners and all sorts of nasties quite easily. And Unyielding, this is going to help us lay down lots of damage on monstrosities, because it's going to be the plasma gun and our grenades that are going to be doing most of the damage there. Blessings-wise, we're going with Gets Hot and Rising Heat. Critical hit chance scales by the current heat level up to 10%, also increases critical ranged attack damage by 10%, and up to 20% strength, scaling with heat. So the hotter the gun gets, the more damage you will do. And then we have our curios. We have two twinned toughness curios with 5% toughness, combat ability regeneration, and stamina regeneration. And then we have a max health with toughness, combat ability regeneration, and max and stamina regeneration. You can dump out the stamina regeneration for damage resistance gunners if you want to. The veteran is quite squishy, and if you're having trouble, definitely dump out stamina regen for the gunner resist. I just run stamina regen because I'm quite used to playing the veteran, and I can kind of wiggle out of sketchy situations rather than having to rely on damage resist. But that's not to say that you have to try the stamina regen. I highly advise getting the gunner resist. And also, before we get into the talent trees, if you've not seen it before, there is a animation skip for the plasma gun, because the reload on this thing is goddamn atrocious. So what you do is you reload when you see the twist. When you see the twist. There we go. When you see the twist, you sprint. When you see the twist, you sprint. As you can see, I messed it up there, but then again, I haven't played Darktide for like 3 months. So what you're doing for is you're looking for when he twists the whatever it is on the gun. As soon as you see the twist, that means you can hit the sprint on shift. So twist, hit sprint, twist, hit sprint, twist, hit sprint. And when I say hit sprint, I mean the shift key or whatever it is on the controller. I don't play this on console, so I don't know what it is on your controller. Whatever button that is, press it. Twist and sprint, twist and sprint, twist and sprint. And that is how you basically half the reload animation for the plasma gun. They still haven't fixed it, and I doubt very much that they will. This has been a known skip for like 2 years, maybe more. But there you go. That was it, reloading in real time, and it's just awful. But There is another way of doing it, but I've completely forgotten. So you can go back to other veteran builds that are using the plasma gun, and I've probably talked about it in there. As I said, I haven't played Darktide for like 3 months. I will remember it at some point, and when I do, I will update it. But yeah, there you go. Plasma gun skip. The plasma gun is amazing. I absolutely love it. It's the closest thing you get to a sniper rifle with the veteran, because obviously you're not allowed sniper rifles. That'd be too fun. But very, very accurate. Very, very high damage. Just make sure you are venting the heat on it, because it will explode if you overcharge the gun, which I will show you now. Most of the time you can get it to 100 and you just kind of stop, but if you don't, that will happen and you will die. So just extra action button and just vent the heat. You don't have to vent it to 0, just vent it to where you are comfortable. Usually I keep it around 50, 45, 50. And skip, and twist, and skip, and twist, and skip. There you go. Right, I'm literally just reminding myself how to do it. Anyway, let's take a look at the talents. We are starting off with Exhilarating Takedown, replenish 15% toughness and gain 10% toughness damage reduction for 8 seconds on ranged weak spot kill, stacking 3 times, stacks decay 1 at a time. Confirmed kill, replenish 10% toughness on elite or specialist enemy kill, and a further 20% toughness over 10 seconds. Long shot, you deal plus 10% range damage to targets within 12.5 meters and up to 25% range damage to targets further away. Maximum bonus is at 30 meters. And then we've got Close Order Drill, up to 33% damage, toughness damage reduction, the more allies in coherency. And then we have the Crack Grenade. I know that lots of people like the Shredder Frag Grenade. It's very good for disrupting large groups, getting blades put all around the place. It is a very useful grenade. I just really like the Crack Grenade because you can basically murder anything with them. Also, if you have taken all the talents that I suggest, you will have 4 of them, and you will be able to dump all 4 onto a monstrosity and watch it melt. I mean, even if you get it on the front side of a bulwark shield, you still break through it. Also, as you just see there, I threw it over the shoulder. But it does gravitate towards the closest target if you are quite close to it. So that's a little helpful thing. Not many people seem to know that. There is a grace sort of period between bluffing the shot. And it's actually quite a large grace period. There's quite a large sort of magnetic attraction. So it's a bit more difficult to fluff the shot. But it does only work on Ogryns. I think it works on monstrosities as well. And let's just check. Does it work on maulers? Yes, it does. So maybe it is just specials it works on. Rages don't seem to count. Oh no, it did. I don't know. Maybe they've changed it. It literally just did it then when it didn't do it before, but oh well. Back to the talents instead of me just playing with grenades. Then we're taking a toughness boost into Trench Fighter Drill. 10% melee attack speed, always useful, because you will get forced into melee. Like, your plasma gun is for dealing with specials, Ogryns, that sort of thing. But when it comes down to these things, you will get forced into melee. The falchion isn't quite as good against poxwalkers as the chainsword, but it does give you a lot better hitting power against more heavily armored targets, and also it's quite cool. Anyway, talents, yes, back to that. Iron Will, 50% reduced toughness damage for above 75% toughness. Superiority Complex, which I have, plus 15% base damage against elites. Get back in the fight, stun immunity, slow immunity for 6 seconds on, restore 50% stamina when your toughness is broken. Catch a breath, when you haven't been the target of a melee attack for 5 seconds, you start to replenish 5% toughness per second. Fire Team, 7.5% damage for you and your allies in coherency. Demolition stockpile, we replenish 1 grenade every 60 seconds, which keeps you out of the bum's rush to steal grenades, which everyone gets into. Grenadier, you carry 1 extra grenade, 20% chance to throw an additional grenade. This only consumes a single grenade. And then Grenade Tinkerer improves your chosen grenade, which is the crack, which is a plus 75% damage to the crack grenade. I really hope I can stop saying grenade now. Voice of Command, my favorite active ability. Replenish your toughness and stagger all enemies with 9 meters, base cooldown 30 seconds. And then Duty and Honor. Voice of Command now also provides you and allies incoherency with plus 50 toughness. For 10 seconds, this can exceed your maximum toughness. This thing's amazing. If you are being bullied by something or just need to make some space, you can use it, and it does stagger things ever so slightly. Ogrins, not so much, but everything else, it kind of knocks them back for a second and allows you to catch your breath and basically reassess what the hell's going on. And also it gives you an overshield of toughness, which is nice. We'll start over here on the left. Range damage boost for 10% range damage into precision strikes. 4 plus 30% weak spot damage. And then we've got fully loaded for plus 25% ammo into toughness damage reduction. And then we've got kill zone plus 15% base range damage when you have avoided melee attacks for 8 seconds. And then we've got the middle for a stamina boost into Born Leader. Allies in coherency replenish 20% of any toughness that you replenish, plus 50% coherency radius. Tactical awareness, plus 100% cooldown reduction for 3 seconds on specialist enemy kill. Rending strikes gives 10% rending to all weapons. It doesn't matter too much on the plasma gun, but it does help with your melee. And then we've got Bring It Down, plus 20% damage to Ogrins and Monstrosities. And now our Keystone, which is Focus Target. Gain Focus Target every 1.5 seconds, stacks 4 times. Tagging an enemy applies the Focus Target stacks to them, causing them to take 5% additional damage for each stack, and resets your Focus Targets down to 1. Focus Fire now has 6 stacks, and then Redirect Fire. If an enemy you have tagged dies, gain 2.5% damage for each stack of Focus Target applied to you and your allies. Incoherency lasts 10 seconds. So, you literally tag things and then shoot them in the face. That's pretty much how it works. If you want to boil it down to its base things. I keep wondering what the hell my tag button is. Oh, it's C. There we go. And you do lots and lots of damage to things. But there you go, folks. That is the updated veteran build for 2026. I do hope you enjoy it. If you do, please do like and subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications. It really does help us out. And I shall see you all for the next build guide, which will be, I don't know which one yet. I haven't picked. But until then, I shall see you all later.